This is my fundamental style sheet. Up in the body section, I define the width of my page, in this case 750 pixels, color of the font, the background color, which is that strange yellow. I define my font family. You'll notice that there's 3 fonts defined. The first one is my first choice. The second is my second choice, and the third is my last choice. I'm telling the browser, look, see if you can find Verdana. If you can't find Verdana, Arial will be nice. Give me Arial. If you can't find Arial, give me whatever font you think is sans serif. Font size, I've defined it as 1M. An M is a measure relative to the browser's default, what it thinks a middle font size should be. That means that if somebody has a visual disability and they've set their default font to be larger, I won't interfere with that. I will allow that font size to be selected. You can call this a accessibility friendly setting. The margin left, margin right, those are gimmicks to center my page. I'm using auto for both. That's what centers the page. If I defined margin left as being 20 pixels, for example, then this would be shifted to the left 20 pixels away from the edge of the page. Or in this case actually 40 pixels because I have padding. Text align, I've chosen left. I could have selected right or justify. Justify works fairly well. I'm just a little bit nervous about using it because some of the older browsers, but I expect that one of these days I'll switch to Justify because I like the look. Here is that H1 definition. We were talking about the title. You'll notice that the font size is just 1.4 M. So I'm saying make it 40% larger than a regular line of text. Then we come to our link, the ahref, all of that stuff. Here we can define the color for active, hover, that's when you put your mouse over the top of the link. The color if the link's been visited, if the URL's already been looked at, and then the color of a non-visited URL. You can also define text decoration as being underlined on or off. You can change the background color. You can totally mess with this. Right now we have the basic minimum fundamental set. Now here's some stuff we had to do in order to float this image. I have this .r float, that right there. And then I have background color. I was just playing around. We don't need that, so let's get rid of it. Float to the right. Then we have clear to the right. Kind of makes sense. You can kind of get a feel how saying the word float and right would help you float something to the right. We have margin top, margin bottom, margin right, and margin left. Next we have the center me. I apologize that this isn't simple, trivial material. You kind of jump into it feet first, head first, and every other which way. But it's necessary. If you want to center an image, which everybody seems to love centering images, you can't just use the align equals center or use the center tag that we used to use back when life was simple, and you could just put brackety doodle center and brackety doodle at the top of something and the slash center at the bottom, and it would all get centered. They are depreciating the center tag and eventually it'll go away. So here's how you do it quote correctly. Basically, this style sheet, while in some ways overly complicated, in other ways it's a little too simplified. However, it does give you the fundamentals. Here's a method for centering an image. Here's a method for floating an image to the left, a method for floating it to the right. Here we have the easy definitions for how to treat our links. And here we have one section where we put all of our fundamental colors and sizes and widths for the web page. So I think this is a good starting point. You should be able to take this and poke, prod, modify, and explore your way into a design that is actually aesthetically pleasing to you. Before we go, I want to show you something that is a little astonishing. If you've ever tried to do this in the old style, here I'm floating an image to the left and to the right, and the text is wrapping in the middle. That is sweet. That's one of the nice things about putting the time in to learn CSS, is that you'll find things that are just simple extensions of what you've already been doing. Here I just used, instead of float right, float left, I added the two images, and bingo bango, it came out looking really nice. I say really nice. Let's get rid of that. Well, the center image, we'll just move it down below. There we have our nice fundamental web page. As I said, there's enough elements on here that you should be able to use the beginnings from this style sheet and this web page to push it into any direction you want to go. Right, good luck with your HTML, your web design, and your entrance into cascading style sheets. Give raw HTML editing a try before you jump into one of the WYSIWYGs. That way you're only fighting the code, you're not fighting somebody's editor. Take care.